Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And today I have a message for you which is all about endings, and I want to dive into some story and some experience from my own journey and my own life. But definitely want to talk to you guys about whether, asking you the question, whether you ghost out or you make it count. And I want to dive into exactly what on earth I am actually meaning by asking you guys that question. But really, it comes in the form of endings. And I want to ask you guys the question as to, be honest with yourself about how do you handle endings? And when I mean endings, I'm referring to, end of relationships. Maybe you have an end of career. But particularly in the story that I want to share with you guys today is about how you handle the ending of life. And I don't want to be all morbid about it. I'm actually talking about this because I'm going through some circumstances right now that are absolutely giving me an opportunity to shift how I've behaved in the past so that I can up level who I am and and operate in a realm where I'm proud of myself, as opposed to kind of feeling regretful for how I've handled things. And let's dive into a little piece of the story so I can just use this to illustrate what I'm actually talking about and why this is top of mind for myself right now. But ultimately, about 6 years ago, my amazing granddad passed away from cancer. It was a very short, it sort of, he had back pain. He went to the doctor, they discovered he had cancer, and within just a couple of months, he left this world. And that was really, one of the first times I've ever had to cope or deal with seeing somebody very close to me who I can't remember a day without, leave this world in such a horrific way. And he was such a fit, healthy man. Like, I was always raving about my grandparents being like these crazy mountaineers, and they were my grandparents, right? So they were old and they were like going, hiking up the Himalayas and like doing all sorts of crazy stuff and traveling the world. And I was really, really proud of who they were. And then, to see this man who was so full of life and energy and a wealth of knowledge, and somebody that every single person in my family looked up to and respected and admired, see him just kind of wither away in such a short period of time was really challenging, as you can imagine. And I'm sure many of you guys out there have had a similar experience, or oftentimes a lot worse than what I'm talking about right now. But ultimately, the way that I handled that ending of my granddad's life, I'm not proud of, because I definitely ghosted out. I definitely avoided. And I think we all know that human beings will do more to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure. And I definitely was operating in this realm of just like not knowing how to handle the situation, not knowing how I should be showing up, not knowing, not really being able to feel comfortable enough to be able to not make it awkward. I think I was just making the situation awkward. And so I just kind of took myself out of the equation and ghosted out. And I truly do regret that. But, on the other hand, I like to say that I have no regrets. So, at the time, I feel like I was doing the best I could with the tools that I had, and that having that opportunity to sort of go through the experience to learn what's right, what's not right about how I want to operate. So my current self can look back at my past self with compassion and understanding, but also in my life right now, I'm being presented with another opportunity to make a right as to how I personally handle endings. And my amazing uncle is struggling with cancer, and it's been a longer period of time. For probably the last 10 or 15 years he's been struggling with cancer, and an absolute battler, as we Aussies would call him. And anyway, he's kind of in this position now where it's getting very, very close to the end. And I'm confronted with an opportunity to, how do I handle this? Do I ghost out like I have a tendency to do, or do I make it count? And how we make it count is, how do we bring mindfulness to this part of his journey in life? How do we take out our own fears, worries, concerns, and negativity out of the equation so that we can make the most of the time scarcity that we have? And oftentimes it's, towards the end that we, that becomes our most valuable currency or commodity, is time. So how do we want to spend that? Do we want to avoid it? Do we want to ghost out and just take off and just pretend like nothing's happening, and until you realize, well, you're not getting that time back again? Or do we actually, or do we want to bring negativity and worry and concern and just like this whole morbid energy to the ending? Or do we want to be really mindful? Do we want to be really conscious? Do we want to make the most of this precious time that we have together, so that, not only sending them off in a positive as can be kind of state of gratitude and fullness, and also, almost making it like a celebration of life, as opposed to, the death of somebody in our lives. And I'm really grateful that my family, when my granddad passed away about 6 years ago now, we didn't have a funeral. We had a celebration of his life, and it was a beautiful experience where so many people from all different walks of life were able to come together and get up and share their beautiful moments with this human being, and have a laugh and be grateful and talk about how extraordinary he was. And it wasn't morbid at all. It was set in a setting of a beautiful park that was along the river, which was, one of his favorite places. And it really was a celebration of his life. And I just wish personally that I had have made it more of a celebration before his life ended. But I can't turn back the clock. But I can definitely make use of this opportunity that I have right now to make amends and operate from a realm of being really mindful and celebrating the life of my beautiful uncle, and having a laugh with him. He's somebody who wants to go, have a laugh. He's a real Aussie. And, I just visited him the other day, and I was trying to be as conscious as possible of not making it an awkward situation where I didn't know how to operate, but actually just treating him as normal and being loving and kind and funny and being more lighthearted, because at the ending, there's so much heaviness that I think that doesn't serve any of us, so I think that I'm hoping that this message is coming to you guys, and me sharing this part of my personal story is going to help you, either if you're going through a situation like that currently, or maybe that's going to come into your future. It's inevitable. We have these endings of life that we're surrounded by at times throughout our journey, and I'm hoping that me sharing this experience with you will help you to be a little bit more conscious and mindful in terms of how you handle the ending that comes to you. So, are you going to just ghost out, avoid pain, and just like pretend it doesn't happen? Or are you going to bring all this negativity and worry and fear and heaviness? Or are you going to be really consciously aware and mindful about that precious time that you have left with that beautiful human being, and bring lightness, bring love, bring gratitude, bring absolute presence to these last moments in your life together? And the same thing happens when we have endings of relationships. Do you just ghost out, or do you end it amicably? Do you be grateful for the times that were shared? Because at one point in your life, it was a beautiful thing. You wanted it. Maybe you don't want it now, but, you've got to be grateful for those times that you've spent together, rather than just ghosting out, avoiding and pretending like it never happened because it's too painful and you want to avoid it. We've got to operate from who we can be proud of ourselves for, and you've got to decide for yourself who that is. For me personally, for me to be proud of myself, it means that I've got to step up and have consciousness and mindfulness and make the most of every moment and be a leader of love, not a follower of fear. And so I'm hoping that this is definitely resonating for you guys. I hope that it's helpful to you all. And I definitely, as always, want to check in with you guys and see who's been able to join me. If you have any questions or comments or feedback that you would love to share and love for me to engage with right here, right now, please share it. Or any words of wisdom. Maybe, you know, we've got a bunch of people here right now who, you know, as the odds are, you know, a few of them are going to be dealing with this current style. And maybe you would like to share some words of wisdom for the people who are absolutely operating and going through this challenging time. So I would love to, but I've got... Hey guys, oh my gosh, I lost a bunch of you. I'm so sorry, my internet connection just dropped out for a moment. As I was just saying to you guys, I'm going to speed this up because I want to make sure that I can still check in with you guys. Sorry about my internet, I don't know what's going on, but make sure you click on the link above and definitely come and join us in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. And who have I got? I've got Sheikh and Gabrielle and Judy and Raul and Jared's here. Awesome. And Ashok and Jamie and Marlon and Gary and Justin and Raul. Much love to you, and Luke and Jessica and Kelly and Debbie and Melissa and Luro and Suzanne and Mike and Master Sajid. Everything comes and goes. Absolutely. So true. So we need to make sure that when it's here, we're making the most of it. You know, we're not ghosting out. And Mario and Linda and Majid and Jace and Philippe and Nelson and Ali and JLo, thank you so much, and Andy, and Maggie and Julie and Majid, thank you, right back at you, superstar, and Andy and Salim and Ibrahima and Samia and Master Sajid. If people can understand what mindfulness truly is, then this world would be a lot better place. Absolutely. So true. You know, mindfulness is about being present to the moment, not getting caught up in the mind of reflecting back in the past or projecting into the future. It's being absolutely present to all that is currently in this moment. So I love that, and I totally agree there. And Oscars, yes, I got you once. That's awesome. I love that you get to catch me live. You probably left by now. I know I lost everybody, but Kapsu and Kamal and Ellie's here, and Kamal, thanks for your inspiration. Love you so much. Much love to you, and I'm super grateful that you're finding value here, Kamal. Thank you. So guys, really that was my message for you. I hope that if you're just joining me now, you definitely catch the recording of this where I share into my current journey in terms of endings in my life right now to highlight and illustrate today's topic, which is all about not ghosting out and instead making it count. And I'm really talking about how we handle endings in our lives. It's super valuable for personal development, self-awareness, and definitely being proud of the human being that you are. So I am, as always, guys, sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's beautiful and amazing. It's getting super hot here in Melbourne, so I'm just kind of enjoying a little bit of warmth in the morning before it gets too hot to be out here. And as always, guys, I want to send you my love. Make sure that you are dropping any questions or comments or feedback for me, and I'll definitely get back to you. Much love.